Welcome to Crisis in Perception, where we examine the systems shaping our world, one book at a time.
You ever try to imagine a really different world and you just hit a wall? Like any alternative just feels like a fantasy? Well, you are not alone. But what if I told you that's not a failure of your imagination? What if it's actually a feature of the system we live in, a system that's designed to make it hard to even think outside its own rules?
So that's the big question, right? Why does it feel like the future is already written? Well, that feeling of inevitability is exactly what the economist and author Yanis Varoufakis digs into in his novel, Another Now. He basically hits rewind on the 2008 financial crash and asks this huge question: what if we'd chosen a totally different path back then?
All right, so let's dive into it. The entire premise of Another Now is built on one simple but pretty radical idea. And honestly, once you see it, it kind of changes everything.
And that idea is this: markets do not equal capitalism. Let that sink in for a second. We use those words interchangeably, but they're not the same thing at all. See, markets are ancient. They're just tools for exchanging stuff. Capitalism, though, that's a much more recent invention. It's just one specific rule book for how to run those markets. So the big insight here is, if you can change the rules, you can have markets without capitalism.
Okay, so what would that actually look like? In the world of Another Now, the system gets rebuilt on 4 new foundations, 4 new rules. Let's break them down.
First up is something called corpo-syndicalism. It sounds complicated, but it's really simple. It just means democratic workplaces. In this Another Now, there are no outside shareholders. Instead, every single person who works at a company gets 1 share and 1 vote. That means all the big decisions, what to make, how to run things, how to split the profits, they're all made by the people actually doing the work. Second, capital gets democratized. So if companies are owned by the workers, you can't really have a stock market, right? There are no shares for speculators to buy and sell. So the stock market as we know it, poof, it's just gone. So where does the money for new ideas come from? From us. We lend our savings directly to businesses we actually believe in. Investing becomes about building real things, not just gambling.
Third, and this is a big one, a universal dividend. Now hold on, this isn't welfare. It's framed as a dividend, your rightful share of the wealth that we all create together. It's funded by a simple 5% tax on every company's revenue. The whole idea is to create a basic economic floor for every single person.
And finally, number 4, something called social worthiness. This is all about making sure that companies actually benefit society. Their success isn't just measured in profit anymore. Instead, they get rated on their social and environmental impact. And get this, who does the rating? Not some stuffy agency, but juries of randomly selected citizens. The goal is to make social value, not just financial value, the real bottom line. So when you put all of that together, here's the most important takeaway. This isn't some far-off science fiction. It doesn't need new technology or some new kind of human being. It's a world rebuilt using the exact same materials we have right now. Companies, money, markets, just with a totally different set of rules.
And here's a really great way to think about that shift. Our current system, it basically runs on the logic of a stock market. It's exclusive, it's speculative, it's private. Another Now runs on a completely different logic, the logic of a public library. It's shared, it's accessible to everyone, and it's democratic.
So, okay, why does any of this matter? Why bother imagining a fictional alternative at all? Well, because imagining is always the first step to actually building.
Is the world described in Another Now some kind of perfect problem-free utopia? Is it a flawless blueprint that we should just adopt tomorrow?
No, absolutely not. And that is precisely the point. The value of this book isn't that it's a perfect blueprint. It's a tool. It's a tool for our imagination. For decades, we've been told there is no alternative, TINA for short. This book's greatest power is that it just shatters that illusion. By showing us just one detailed, plausible alternative, it gives us all permission to start imagining countless others.
All of the ideas we've explored here today are from the book Another Now, Dispatches from an Alternative Present by Yanis Varoufakis. And to really get the full story that brings these ideas to life, we highly encourage you to read the book for yourself or go borrow it from your local library.
For the full, long-form deep dive into this book and its ideas, follow the link in the description.
If you enjoy systems-level analysis like this, please subscribe and comment with books or topics you'd like us to explore next.